Here's a good spot. Hey, I found a spot that we'll sit here for a second. We'll put our thermal on and we'll see if we can't see anything. All right, everybody. Not seeing anything just yet, but well, everybody, I didn't see anything on the thermal. And people ask me all the time, Edge, are you scared when you go out to those woods by yourself, especially at night in these situations? And you know, that was kind of the theme of the Sasquatch Summit this year. Out of the believers of Sasquatch, there's two camps, basically. We've got a camp at the or a side that believes that Sasquatch is a biological entity. You know, he's on some sort of mammalian tree and he fits in there somewhere. And then other people believe that, well, who knows, maybe he's interdimensional or just totally different topic, right? Like he's just not of this world. Well, I like to believe that Sasquatch is real, and I like to believe that it's a biological. I like to believe that there's something out here. I think that if it was just another ape, I think we would have had him by now. I think that it's got to be way smarter than that. You know, it doesn't have to be at the same par as a human, but I would assume that it's got to be close. At least it's got to be really aware of how to stay away from people. It has language. You know, it eats similar things. It probably moves between areas, such as up here in the Pacific Northwest. We believe that the Olympic Peninsula is home to the Bigfoot. At least certain Bigfoot will then move seasonally over to the Mount Rainier area, which causes a lot of sightings, especially along that highway area. So some people think I'm crazy coming out here by myself in the middle of the night. Hey, Bigfoot's nocturnal. I believe that Bigfoot is still some sort of being and is tangible. So with that being said, yeah, I do believe that there's things out here to be worried about. You know, so we got cougars and bear. So I wouldn't just say go walk out into the woods unprepared. But with that being said, as long as you've got your wits about you, I think that the woods is a perfectly safe place. Another thing that we were talking about at the Sasquatch Summit this year was how, you know, there's kind of a difference between people just playing and people who are really, you know, out here looking. And a lot of the stuff that we don't put on YouTube, on the video, is the boring stuff. I use my Jeep to get out into these little tiny roads, overgrown roads, because I don't want to scratch up my truck. I don't want to, really beat up a real street vehicle. And this thing is pretty capable of getting back here on these roads. I want to get back here and see if we can't start seeing patterns. If it's a biological being, then there's got to be patterns. And like the Olympic project, for example, they're finding that there's probably a pattern to them, you know, building nests and using those areas, you know, seasonally, right? They're talking maybe that they're using these areas when the salmon are running, you know, which is right now, which is why these little valleys are perfect right now, because Sasquatch is probably coming down, you know, and fishing out of these rivers, just like we are. Hey, and then as far as the Sasquatch Summit at the Quilnot Casino and Resort, I would recommend going there every year. This year was such a blast. There were cool speakers that, you know, talked about different opinions. So you got the whole spectrum. You had a lot of really interesting people with stories, with cool vendors, and the actual layout was pretty cool. I've never been to one that was this big. All the ones that I had been to were a couple hundred people or smaller. This one really was awesome. I'm going to go next year, and I hope you guys do too.